Good morning, cyber traders, and welcome to the cyber podcast with me, Fausto Pugliese, your host. And I have a new guest that is here, someone I met several times. First time we're having him on the show. Looking forward to having him, Daniel Zurich and he's been traveling the world, which I would love to hear about it. And this is what the great thing about being a professional trader is: you can do this anywhere in the world. So let me welcome in Daniel. Good to see you. Welcome to the Cyber Expo Cyber Trader podcast. How you doing?
Yeah, great to see you too, Fausto. Hello,
Good, good.
everyone over there. Greeting today from Brazil, beautiful Fortaleza.
What are
Um,
you doing? What are you doing in Brazil? What the hell is
uh, I'm just traveling the world. I like to enjoy the lifestyle of a trader, so to say, because as traders we can trade from anywhere as long as we have internet.
That is awesome. That is awesome. I never went to Brazil. What is there? Where are you in Brazil? Because that's a big
I'm,
country.
it's huge. Yeah, it's massive. We're about 3 hours north of Sao Paulo by plane, so that's really far. It's like 2,000 kilometers or 1,500 miles, whatever, near the equator, right at the beach in Fortaleza. So it's
I can
super
see you got
hot.
a great tan.
Yeah, that's as much as I can tan with my very fair skin.
with your with your German skin. I mean, right? You're not a big fan. You're probably burned though, right?
Yeah, always a little. Yeah,
Always burned. Always burned. How long you been in Brazil for? What do you?
I've been here for a week now, give or take. I have 2 more days, actually one more day. Now that I think of it, I'm heading to Germany tomorrow night, to attend a big trading event there. It's called the Invest Conference in Stuttgart in southern Germany. I'm going to have two speaking slots there. I'm going to talk about day trading and also about swing trading in German.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Okay. Do you have a lot? I mean, I trained a lot of Germans too. I mean, there are a lot of English speaking people in Germany, right? Is that like a second language there?
oh, it's really German speaking, but they learn English in school for at least 5 years, even
Okay.
more if you go further. And yeah, most of them they speak English well, but this event will be fully in German, so I'm gonna use
Oh,
my
fully
native
German.
tongue. Yeah, at that
Oh,
place. Yes.
so how many people go to that show in Germany?
It's massive. If you know the Traders Expo in Vegas, and even at its prime, I think it's like 1/10 of that show in Germany. It's they have national broadcast there. There's TV
Really?
stations there. They have huge stages. Yeah, it's massive. Big banks there, traders there, investors there. You got it all. So it's a really
Wow.
big event for 2 days.
I would
Yeah.
love to go and do a speaking there, teach them how to day trade. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there are a couple of English-speaking traders there. It's mostly German, but a few here and there you hear them speak in English and give presentations in English too in
Wow.
Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's great that's what's nice with having people like you, Daniel, on here. When was the last time I saw you? I forgot when last I bumped into you.
I think it was in Vegas at
It was in Vegas,
the
right?
Nets affiliate event. I
It was
think.
at right, right. It was at the partner event that we did there.
Yeah,
That was about, my God, like 4 or 5 years ago, right?
yeah, it's been a
Oh,
while.
that was
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
And it's great, and that's what everyone has to understand. Like, great traders surround themselves with great traders. And that's what's nice about, I love having people like you on here. And also to show everybody that you can travel around the world. Listen, when I do like I was just in Bermuda, I was in Aruba, I was all over. People are like, where are you doing your events? I'm like, anywhere I can. I mean, and people are like, wait a minute, aren't you in Vegas right now? Because I was in Vegas 2 weeks ago. I was talking to someone. Are you on vacation? I'm like, no, I'm working all the time. This is you can mix and match what you're trading and this, which is awesome. And look at it, you're here and you're in Brazil. I mean, it's funny. Everyone I talk to now is like exploring different parts of the world.
Yeah.
It's not.
What a world we live in, huh?
It
All
is.
these
It is a big,
possibilities.
big world. And you know what? I train a lot of German, so you could see that, going to that conference is pretty big. So, but some people don't know this about you. You don't live in Germany. You live in Montreal, right?
Yes, you wouldn't think so because of the way I talk, but yeah, I've been living in Montreal for more than 20 years, if you believe it.
20 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
time flies. I
We
went
train a
there
lot of
back.
Canadian. Yeah, we train a lot of Canadians. And it's so great because, the language is perfect. I mean, there's a lot of Canadians in here right now. Um, they understand the markets, it's not as the liquidity like they have up there, like we have over here. But yeah, it's a great city, Montreal, beautiful city. Like I was telling you earlier when we were in the green room, my brother was a race car driver, and we used to do a lot of the Formula One Grand Prix up in Montreal. So, and for everybody that's listening, You probably, when you see my backdrop is no different, but on the back right, that picture right there, that's actually right there on the left. That's a picture of me with Michael Schumacher, which you probably could appreciate. You see that?
Yeah,
That's him signed.
amazing.
He as champagne, only champagne he actually drank out of that he
Wow.
signed. I have the only one there. I'm worried. I know it steals it. I mean, it's probably a lot of money sitting in that corner. I can tell you that. But big fan
Yeah.
of Grand Prix and being German. Michael Schumacher and stuff. So
I
I know
used to be a huge fan of Michael Schumacher. It's so sad what happened now, but I saw him race a couple of times in Montreal at the Grand Prix, even win one of these races. And
yeah,
of course, being in Brazil here, Ayrton Senna is still such a big deal. You see streets named after him, tunnels, bridges.
tunnels too. Yeah,
It's still a big thing here in
it
F1
is.
racing, of course, in Brazil. Very popular too. Yeah.
And when I was there, we used to sponsor the race car too. Like we sponsored my brother raced for Ferrari, so that's why we were so connected with him. And we did Fry Challenge, and I used to have my name on the car. And all the students that were back then, I used to invite them come to the track, and it was just a great experience. They loved it there. But that's the great thing about what we do as traders, right? That's what's going on. But with that said, Daniel, regardless about you traveling around the world like we all do. I want to tell everyone a little bit about you. I mean, because why are you here? So you're basically a technician. You like to focus on indicators. You do some day trading, swing trading. What the hell's going on now with all these with the market right now? I mean, like it is so unpredictable to know: are we going long? Are we going short? I mean, what are you seeing?
It's volatile, yeah, to say the least. And yeah, unpredictable to some degree, but you know what? Even though, of course, nobody can predict such a correction, but technical analysis to the rescue, the degree of the correction we saw, this was to some degree at least predictable and foreseeable by technical analysis. And some of the indicators we are using, they showed support at levels where the market bounced off from. And this to me it's like magic. You can look at these levels and price reacts to these levels in a very special way. So this is what I believe in. This is what all our work, our indicators, our tools are centered around. It's technical analysis, because I believe, at least in my head, that fundamental information is almost priced in immediately, and you never really know how much is priced in already. So I don't like to listen too much to fundamental data. I rely on technicals, and by analyzing a price chart, you can predict to some degree what's going to happen in the future. That's our belief here at tradingindicators.com.
Well, that's why, listen, and a lot has to do with the volatility that we're having, which makes those indicators really go wild. But a little bit more about you, Daniel. Why don't you tell us a little bit about everyone? Because I know you for a long time. I know your story, but there are people in here don't know about you, how you got into technical, how you got this freedom to do what you want. Tell us a little bit about you. How'd you get started?
Yeah, it's really fascinating, because my background is actually perhaps quite a bit different from the regular person you interview in these podcasts. I actually started off with my career objective, wanting to become a professor in software engineering. So that was my goal. I wanted to be a researcher. So I went through all the levels. I did my master's, my PhD, my postdoc in software engineering. And I started teaching in Montreal, in Germany, in different languages, all around software engineering. But you know what? During all these years, I was always fascinated also by the markets and the world of finance and how you can make money in the markets. So I started trading on the side. But guess what? As you start off trading, you tend to make all kinds of mistakes. And so did I. So I over-traded, I revenge traded, I took too much risk. And after donating quite a bit of money to the markets, I came to the realization, oh boy, trading is not as straightforward as I thought, and I need help. And for me, as a software engineer, needing help meant I need better tools, better indicators, which will help me make better trading decisions. So I rolled up my sleeves and I started coding. And the very first indicators which I've ever written, they were only for my own purpose, to help me make better trading decisions. And once we realized, hey, they help us, perhaps others could benefit from these indicators as well. And this is really how the story behind tradingindicators.com started. And now it's been more than 10 years, or even longer. We've built literally thousands of indicators for clients all over the world. Most of them centered on technical analysis. That's our bread and butter.
So how many indicators did you write?
Thousands. We've written thousands of them. Yeah. It's because we do a lot of custom work. where somebody comes to me, hey, Daniel, I have this idea, this kind of indicator with this logic and this visualization. It comes to me, we take it away and we develop it. And we do this
Wow.
for TradingView, for TradeStation, Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, MotiveWave, MetaTrader, and so forth. So we do it all.
So let me ask you a dumb question. How do you build an indicator? I mean, everyone's like even me, or just think about it, I just don't know nothing. How does that all come in? Is it all programming? Is just like, what's involved to build an indicator?
Yeah, it's getting much easier
somebody
over the
asked
years.
you that if they wanted to build an indicator,
yeah,
how do you come about like designing it or come out and making it?
Yeah, it's a lot of programming. It used to be like only programming. So there was like back in the day, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, only a programmer could do it. Now with TradingView, taking over the world and their PineScript language, things are becoming a bit easier. It's a bit more user-friendly for let's say the average Joe to also create their own indicators. But back then it was pure programming. So you needed to hire a programmer. It's still true to some degree, but now AI and stuff, there's some stuff that can be done with ChatGPT and some AI tools to help you generate some indicators. But if you really want something special, which is not auto-generated, which is very specific to your requirements, very specific to your visualizations that you have in mind, then you still need to come to me or somebody like me to help you out with this. But the process is easy. You just simply explain to me your vision in regular language. I take notes, I take it away, and I propose something. And then we iterate a few times, and then it's done. Yeah.
Everyone always asks me too. Like, I have a very big connection with TradeStation and Thinkorswim, and they always ask me, says, Fausto, you've been doing this for 35 years. Why don't you have your own indicator? And I'm like, you know what? I really didn't have anyone that I could trust that I could ask. I might just basically, I just didn't even think about it. Daniel, you could probably make me one.
Yeah, I've made indicators for many of your fellow colleagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd Gordon. I know you had him, Rob Booker, and all these people. I've written most of their stuff.
So what does it cost to write an indicator? Is it a lot of work? Is it expensive, or is it range?
It depends how complex it is. It can be as fast as maybe me spending a day or two on it. And if it's more complex, it could be a week or a couple of weeks. So it really depends on what you have in mind. But for the smaller indicator, it's a day or two.
I do something on level 4 that's called where you see like orders on the right of the chart. I got to send it to you and you got to look at it and let me know what you think if you could do it. But I have a specific way of how I trade, how we look at orders in the future, where we see something called the ECNs out there and just look at block orders out there. And we do use the software right now, but I think I would like to tweak it around a little bit. They have their own way of doing it. So maybe you could take a look at it. That'd be great. I mean,
okay, yeah, sounds good. Even though this sounds a bit more complex, the way order flow, looking at orders out there at the dome, we'll see. We'll take it away.
So, what is the most popular indicator that you find that most people are using that you built that is working well?
Yeah, actually, has 3 indicators that we use every single day on our charts. It's we have written so many, but there's 3 which are always every single time we open up a chart by default on it. One is, we call it MA Rush, but the name is not so important. One is for analyzing the trend. What's the overall market direction, up or down? Something you typically can gauge with your eyes too, but it's good to have confirmation from an indicator because that's very systematic that way. So that's the first one. The second one is we look at levels. Where are key support and resistance levels in the market? And this applies to day trading, to swing trading. It's important to know where these levels are because price may react to them. It may bounce up from it. If you have a break, you may have a nice follow through. These kind of things you can kind of anticipate from knowing where the levels are. So that's our second one. This indicator is called Liquidity IQ. Again, name is not so important. And the third one is volume. We look at volume profile information. Where's the zone of control? Where are there perhaps valleys in volume, with very little volume traded? And these can act as accelerators of price. Price may just run through it if there's very little volume, or perhaps get stuck there like molasses if there's a very high volume node. And putting all these together allows me to, form in my head a story about the market. What's going on right now? And I'm putting all this together in my head, and then I try to predict, okay, I know what's going on right now. What might the next chapter be all about? And this will help me to anticipate it. Sometimes it works, and oftentimes actually it does. What may happen next? And trading, what may happen next is all you need to know. That's how you set up your trades.
Well, there's this old saying that technical analysis is paralysis, right? You probably heard that phrase all the time. So, like everyone's being sold an indicator. Oh, you got to use the VWAP. Oh, you got to use the MACD. Oh, you got to use the Fibonacci. Oh, you RSI. I mean, like, when's enough's enough? And how do you know what is best for that person individually? Because obviously certain indicators work better than others. And knowing almost every single indicator, what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and everyone's being sold an indicator. I mean, how do someone protect themselves, not getting over indicated, paralysis on this stuff?
And I agree with you. Trading is personal, and everybody should have his own style and his own personality when it comes to trading. And you know what? Maybe my preference may not be somebody else's preference. That's, of course, that's certain. And that's why we provide individualized solutions as well, based on your trading needs. But what I find important when it comes to indicators is that whatever you put on your chart should not be overlapping. So you don't have 5 indicators which basically look at the same thing. There's no use in that. You're just going to clutter your chart. What I put on my chart are indicators which are complementary. They look at different things, and basically they give me new information. Every indicator gives a little extra piece about the market, and that's what's important. So everything needs to bring something new to the table. If that's not the case, I would not use that indicator. It just rehashes the same information.
Now, certain indicators just stay away working on certain exchanges, like different styles. If you're more of an option trader, stay away from these only to work. Or if you're a day trader, these work a little bit better. Like don't use those. Anything you can kind of recommend? Because, like I said, everybody knows the basic ones, but what basic ones don't work for the depending on that style that you recommend to people to stay away from.
Yeah, that's true. This is why actually some of our indicators, and now we're getting into specifics, actually the indicator will do an introspection, basically tell you as a trader, hey, this is how well I am working right now with this symbol and this time frame. And sometimes it'll tell you, hey, with this symbol, I'm not working well at all. Stay away from me. My signals are not working out. So this is some of the more advanced logic we've built in, where the indicator will tell you how well the indicator thinks, of course, it's thinks in quotes, how well it's working, giving you as a trader an indication as to how much you can trust the signals. And oftentimes that's super important to know. Hey, because sometimes the indicator will tell you, you cannot trust me right now, stay away. And sometimes not taking a trade is the best trade advice that you can get. So that's important information.
Now, regarding about just the indicators, now there's also softwares out there. Like some people have like the Metastock platform, or they have the Wealth 365, or they have like like you said, TradeView, TC2000. What makes why these people come out with all these different software? What makes one different than the other with your indicators that come in there? I mean, how did you not getting suckered in to buy something someone else is diverse? Where, I mean, listen, some people are like, why am I buying that? I could just get Thinkorswim, a TradeStation. Why? What makes them different than another?
Yeah, that's a good question. And again, it's a personal decision. And oftentimes, how comfortable you as a trader are with a platform, that's probably the most important factor, because you don't want to fiddle around those stuff while you're trading. You want to be comfortable. You want to be fluent with that platform. So that's, first of all, that's important to consider. But then every platform brings something new to the table. So with TradingView now, of course, it's all web-based, it's cloud-based. You don't have to install anything. You get all the updates automatically. They have beautiful charting. You get offline alerts, meaning even if you're not logged in, you get a push notification on your phone. All these cool things TradingView is strong at. But then you have things like a TradeStation or perhaps NinjaTrader, where they're very strong in automated trading. So if that's your style, that's not possible with TradingView. Maybe you should use these platforms. So they all have their strengths and weaknesses, and it depends on what you have in mind. We do a lot of automated trading, and for this, for example, TradingView is not an option at all. It's not supported there.
But do you need TradeView if you have a TradeStation?
If you want everything cloud-based and on the web and on the go, if you travel a lot, I think that's an easy one to have, because you can just log in and then trade from there. And truth be told, TradingView has really become it started off popular, but now I think it's taken over the world with all the features they're integrating in. It's a pretty good platform to consider. And most of our business now, truth be told, is for TradingView. So most of the indicators that people have in mind is for TradingView. So we're just following the what's popular.
But what about Thinkorswim?
We use it too.
But if you have Thinkorswim, do you really need a TradeView or a Wealth 365 platform or anything like that? Or
I think so, because because there, for example, some of our indicators, the more sophisticated ones, they are not possible on Thinkorswim because it's a bit of a dated platform. So the technology is not, they didn't keep it up to date enough. So some of the logic that some of the algorithms that we use, they cannot be implemented on Thinkorswim, for example. Yeah.
So you're basically trying to say is that you have this indicator, or anyone has a really good indicator, and some brokerage firms won't offer it because it's not powerful enough to handle it with all the moving parts. Because you're right. Because you know what's funny you say that, because sometimes like I've used indicators, or some people, we teach a lot of coaching, and everyone has all these indicators, and the platform takes forever to come up. Or some people here say, my system keeps crashing, and and then when we do a coaching class with them, because we do a lot of one-on-one coaching when we teach our students, and we look at it like, oh my God, what the hell? You got like need 4 monitors to run this thing. No wonder why your computer's running slow. Because when we look at their specs, they're like, oh, you got good specs, you never have a problem. But I guess that's what it is, and it does lag it down, it does slow it down then. And
that's a style too. How complex do you want your trading to be? Do you really want to have 4 screens with 5 different charts on each screen? It's a preference. I just trade off 1 screen. I keep it simple. Later I'm going to show you my chart. You'll be surprised how simple I look at a chart.
Well, Daniel, I tell everyone this one, and this is my motto. I tell everyone, if you can't make money with 1 screen, how the hell are you gonna make money with 4? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where it comes down to it. Some people, and they're like, I never really thought about that. That kind of makes sense. I'm like, well, when I do my events, and I invite everyone to come to my events, I back then, Daniel, we trade on a 15-inch monitor. It's a little bit, think a little monitor, like, and we looked at his orders. People like, when you look at people trading New York Stock Exchange, they're working on an iPad. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to make it more complicated. The more windows you have, the more you think, the longer it's going to take you to get there.
Yeah, let alone on the road. I'm not going to bring 4 screens with me. I'm traveling at the beach in Brazil. I have my little little laptop here, and a Lenovo Carbon. It's very tiny. It's perfect for traveling around. That's all I need. Yeah.
Now, regarding your strategy for traders using your indicators, how would you explain the value of price action? Because I noticed that you're pretty big on that.
Yeah, it's invaluable, as you may say. I think everything is priced in almost immediately. Any fundamental information that you may get, it's like almost immediately priced in, because markets are so efficient these days. And by analyzing price action, you will indirectly, for sure, take into account these fundamental information as well, because it's priced in so quickly. That's the beauty about the efficiency of today's market. Everything is right there all the time. And you know what? The other thing is, and I tell this to our students all the time, it is inherently difficult to analyze fundamental information and to predict what impact it may have on the market, because you don't know how much is already priced in. Because oftentimes things are priced already in, what is already expected by the market. This is so complicated. So we stay away from this. We really try to keep it simple. We do technical analysis, and with the right tools, actually, it can be quite mechanical and straightforward.
So is that the first thing you look for? I mean, so if a trader was going and using it, which and you analyze your chart, which is the first thing they should focus on?
Yeah, trend.
The trend.
Does it go up or down right now? Because I like to trade with the trend typically. Again, I keep it simple, not against it. So try to trade with the trend. That's my first criteria. Hey, what's the trend right now? And this works in any time frame. So if you're on the 5-minute time frame for day trading, what is right now the trend? Is it going up or down or sideways? Criteria number 1.
Yeah. And with that said, Daniel, any certain, I mean, with the market being so volatile, I mean, we're going up, we're going down, we're all over the place. I mean, especially with these tariffs, it's very, crazy times in the market. Any pattern behaviors you've noticed now or repeated over time that you're seeing that people should be focused on right now with these indicators and the patterns that you just said, like follow that indicator? Anything you're seeing?
Yeah, one thing we do right now actively, because things are so unpredictable, we really try to protect ourselves by either using a very wisely chosen stop loss, or getting in and out of a position very, very quickly. For example, last night I was trading. I was taking a short trade on the S&P 500 futures, on the micro futures, and I used to leave it open when the market closes out. The cash session closes out around 5 p.m. Eastern. because in the hope, I did my analysis, I know where my target is. But nowadays, because you never know what's going to happen, I just close them out. If I can't actively monitor what's going on, and this is something we do now to protect ourselves in these very volatile market conditions, is to just really keep an eye on it much closer than we used to, and even close out positions just to be off the market, especially when we're not looking at it.
Yeah. Now, Daniel, could you share your screen? I'm just curious. Could you show people? Could you show us a little bit about what those indicators look like and what we're talking about, so people here could kind of get a vision? A picture's worth a million words.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's right. So, okay, perfect. I'm going to share my screen and put this up here. There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Market storytelling, how to predict the next chapter. So, again, this sounds esoteric perhaps, but you will see it's actually quite straightforward. So this is, we already talked about myself. We really specialize in building trading indicators. This is our bread and butter. We believe we have one of the most sophisticated trading indicators out there. We're all software engineers in our team and mathematicians. So our indicators, you will see it in a second. They just look a bit different from the average indicator you may see. Now, we've been doing this for a long time, and of course, what is important, what helped me the most to become a better trader is to really sit down, maybe take a sit back a little bit and try to understand what is the story of the market. What's going on right now? And this is important just to clarify my head a little bit. And this is, once again, a personal decision. The story of the market can be as complex or as simple as you like. I like to keep it simple, but some people like to keep it super complex. There are multiple screens, maybe doing some Elliott wave analysis of subwave counts and so forth and so forth. This is not my style. I personally like to keep it simple. This fits my trading personality. And one thing I'd like to stress is that every trader does have a different trading personality, and you need to find the style that fits your trading personality. It's super important. So I like to keep it simple. That works for me.
The KISS method.
Yes. Keep it simple, stupid. That's right.
Yeah.
And in fact, fun fact, this was my working title leading up to this podcast. Anyways, okay, so what do I do? Well, technicals only. I mentioned this before. I don't try to interpret fundamentals. That's, I believe, beyond me. I look at technicals only. I think most people find technicals much easier to comprehend than trying to predict what fundamentals will do and how they shake the markets. So step number one, technicals only. Step number two, I let indicators do all the heavy lifting for you. You'll see in a second what that means. So I rely heavily on my indicators. Okay. Thirdly, I basically asked 3 simple questions, and this will give me my story about the market. And these questions are, real quick, what is the trend? Is it going up or down or sideways? Gives you usually a lens on the market, what's going on in broad steps right now. Number 2 is, where are key levels? I call this the telescope. Whatever. But what are key levels? Where is the nearest support level? Where is the nearest resistance levels? Other levels in between, and so forth. Why do I ask this question? Because price will react to these levels in one way or another. So I want to be aware of these ones. And thirdly is, where's the action? Where's the most volume traded? At which price levels? Where perhaps is no volume traded? And this gives you an indication of how fast price may go through a certain area, or how slow it may go through certain areas. Important to know, to understand. And I put all this together. We're going to look at some charts in just a second to give me the story of the market. And as you remember, indicators will do the heavy lifting. And in fact, the answer to these 3 questions, they come from 3 powerful indicators. Because we have one indicator for each of these questions. We call it the trading IQ bundle. That's not so important. But let's look at an example. First question was, what is the trend? Okay, let's try to do it together. What is the trend here? This is a 5-minute chart. MNQ, the micro Nasdaq futures, for day trading is quite compressed. And you can look at it and say, hey, maybe overall there's an uptrend here, but there are lots of swings going on. So maybe you have some subtrends here. Well, we have an indicator, especially for day trading, which will tell you right now what is the trend. Do you see these labels here? Bear, bull, bear, bull. Basically, the indicator will tell you what is the trend right now. So in this case, we've seen this little, it goes up here. We are bullish. This is one piece of information I use to form a story about the market. What is the trend? So this indicator will give me this piece of information, rush. And that's like the easiest to gauge because everybody can see where it's going up or down. It's still good to have confirmation. So bullish. Second question, or another example. Where's the trend here? Well, once again, you may say, hey, it's going down. There's some swings here. Where's the trend right now for day trading? Well, once again, my indicator will tell me this. Right now, it's bearish. That's the most recent signal here. It's bearish. This is my overall trend direction. And I always try to trade with the trend and not against it. So I use it as a bias for deciding whether I should take a trade and also for the trade direction I should take. So in this case, bearish. All right. So that's the easiest one. Question number 2. Where are my key levels? Now it gets a bit more complicated. Figuring out where the trend goes, I think everybody has a good intuition what's going on. But where are the key levels? Where are levels of support and resistance? That's much harder. So even looking at the chart like this, where would you say, hey, where's support and resistance? And maybe you're not even zoomed out enough to see all the important swing points and levels of interest in the market. It's much harder. We have an indicator which does it for you. It looks like this. We call this liquidity IQ, which basically shows you, hey, this down here was a resistance level. It broke, a nice follow through, and then at some point price retraced. And where did it retrace to? Back to this broken resistance level again, which at this point is acting as support. And it's so fascinating to see how price reacts to these levels. It's almost like magic sometimes how important these levels are. So we have an indicator for this showing you, hey, these are the levels. Here another example. Once again, a bit of a crazy chart, hard to see where the levels are. Our indicator will tell you where these levels are. And these are not drawn after the fact. They are drawn when the line starts here. So the indicator is proactive in that sense. You can see how nicely oftentimes price will react to these levels. Bouncing off resistance here multiple times, bouncing off support. Once support is broken, a nice follow through. Important information. So that's question number 2, where the levels will come from this indicator. And question number 3 is, where's the action? Where's the most volume traded? And this is really the most complicated one to figure out manually if you want to do it. It's almost impossible. Where, I may have to look at volume bars down here to see where's the most volume traded. We have written a volume profile indicator for this purpose, showing us where's my zone of control? Where are some high volume nodes? Where are low volume nodes? And it's so fascinating sometimes that how price reacts when it enters one of these low volume areas, for example. You can see like a big acceleration. Price moves through these areas very quickly. When it gets to a high volume node, it slows down. It kind of gets stuck in this price area. So this tells me basically what to expect in terms of price movement, where's the zone of control, and so forth, and how fast price may act or move through certain areas. So these are the 3 indicators I use. Now, of course, the real question is, how can we put it all together to make a prediction about the future? Because once again, this is what trading is also all about. So let's look at this chart here real quick. All 3 indicators are on this chart together. You can see it here. We have our trend indicator. Say we are bearish. That was the most recent signal here. So things are going down. Even though we had some correction here, things are going down. We can also see that, okay, we do have, you can see it here a little bit, a resistance level which just formed here at this point here. Price is here. There's resistance up here. Okay, that's important to know. We also have support down here. This is a support level. It's indicated by the indicator, support. Okay, and we also see, okay, right now, price is in this high volume node by our volume IQ indicator. And one thing I didn't mention is we do have an order imbalance right here. You see this red shaded area? We have more sellers in this area than buyers. Okay, so I have all this information. So with all this information, where do I think price will go next? In fact, we actually took this trade live in our trading room. Well, I believe price will go further down. Where will it go to? Well, we have more sellers here. Here we have more buyers. I would say it will go somewhere near this area, near the support level, at the minimum. If I'm wrong, where will I get stopped out, or where should I put my stop? Right above this resistance level. So if price actually goes above this level, I think my idea about what will happen next is not valid anymore. And this is how I look at the market. And this ended out beautifully. This is the same chart, just looks a bit different. This is a live trade we took based on that thesis last Wednesday when we did our speed trading event, and the market followed through nicely. I got out here at this support level. Of course, this was subsequently broken, and this could have been a much better trade. But hey, I followed my plan, and I was happy with that. And this is what I do every single day. And if you look real quick, Faust, if you give me one more second at the how I set up my charts, you can see this is for day trading, that these three indicators, these are on every single chart. Look how beautiful MNQ, this Nasdaq bounced off this level this morning.
Wow.
And the market opens like almost to the T. And, and I would say now, just by looking at MNQ, for example, I would say price probably is going to go at least to this high volume node here. It may get slowed down here. I'm pretty certain it will, because price will slow down here. And this, in fact, often acts also as resistance, and we may see another leg further down in MNQ, because we do have bearish sentiment. There's just a correction, and we may see another leg further down. Here, the micro Dow, look at how price reacted to this resistance level prior to this, and so forth and so forth. So this is how I look at my charts. And for day trading, I look at 16 different future symbols. They all have the same indicators on it. Here we have gold, micro gold. Beautiful how gold has been trading from a technical point of view. Look at the zone break here. We broke above resistance, initially went up, then a little fake out of the market, back to the broken level. You can see it here, which is now acting as support. When resistance gets broken, it acts as support. Could have been a great re-entry opportunity. It also coincided with this high volume node here. We have more buyers in this area as well, and then a nice follow through afterwards. Yeah, and this is basically what we do. We try to keep it simple. We have three main indicators on the chart. Sometimes we add a few other ones, but this is basically the gist of it. And you can see here, it's all set up beautifully in my trading view here. I like to keep it simple. This gives me an overview of the main futures for day trading. And then once I am ready to perhaps make a move, I zoom in a bit more. So this is a full screen chart here. This happens to be a micro gold. And because there's not much going on here, I would go to Nasdaq maybe. Gold is gone for the day, I believe. And in Nasdaq, I mean, if price comes up to this level, this could be a great short, in my opinion. And this possibly will act as resistance. We have another resistance level up here. Maybe this could be a stop. It's a bit far for my taste, but I believe the sentiment is bearish, and this would just be a correction of this level. And we may see another leg further down.
Now, for your platform, all these indicators, do you have to always pay for every one of them, or could you get them more, or a lot of them are free?
So these ones are not free. Of course, TradingView has a lot of free indicators, but these ones is the culmination of our research for the last 3 to 4 years. And there's a fee to it. They can either be rented on a subscription basis or as on a lifetime model.
Do they sell like a basket of them, or is it more just like you gotta buy them individually?
You can do either. We have we offer them individually, but also as a bundle. We call this the Trading IQ bundle.
Okay,
it comes with these three indicators. Yeah.
And what do they usually go for? Something like those indicators?
It's $197 per month for the three, or the lifetime deal would be a bit more expensive. Would be at $1,997.
Now, Rich, do we have his link to? So, is there we can get a demo of that, or how do you be able to get an indicator and use it if you want to use it?
In fact, guys, if you want to get a demo or a bit more, more detailed overview of what these indicators do and how they also can be used for swing trading, the same principles apply for swing trading as well, just for higher time frames. Join us at tradingindicators.com/CTU. This is completely free. Just for some extra information, such as a nice ebook, but also you will be invited to our next, we call this power scanning session, where we scan for the most interesting swing trades that are coming up in the week or weeks ahead, and for our next live trading event, where we trade the markets live with our live account, not a demo account, live charting, live trades, and you can ask questions. You see in action what we do on a daily basis when it comes to trading. And I think sometimes just observing what a trader does gives you the best education.
And if anybody also, we'll have Daniel coming on our Cyber Expos. Just take your phone, scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. Just turn your camera on, and that's another way of a quick little scan to get in there to have free workshop if anybody wants to attend that event. So, Daniel, I know you're busy. I want you to enjoy the beautiful. So, what time is it where you are right now in Brazil?
Oh, it's only 1 hour later than New York time. It's
1 hour late.
1 p.m. now.
Because Toronto's been kind of Montreal's pretty much the same time as we are. So before we go, any last minute advice you can give somebody as new to indicators or anything that they should be looking for? I mean, you've been doing this for a very long time. You've been through the ups and downs, swings. Anything that you advise somebody to do if they're looking to get started?
yeah, find people you trust, figure out what is your trading personality, and then I think the last piece of advice, and this may be a little bit controversial, Fausto, is don't trade demo accounts. I think the pressure that you feel on a demo account is very different because, executing a trade with live money, and you can trade very small. That's something we always educate. Trade as small as possible so you're always comfortable to follow through on your plan. But trade live money to see actually what it means to trade live, to potentially make some money in the market, or the best lessons unfortunately come from what it means to lose some money in the market, because that will give you a real exposure of what it means. And making decisions under pressure, and hopefully the pressure will not be too big because you're trading small. It's so much different than on a demo account. So that was,
Daniel, I'm glad you say that because I always say that all the time to my traders in the room. Like we find so many ideas when we're trading in the market, and all I tell everyone is just buy one share. Like, oh, what's the sense of that? Because you're right. I hear people say, "Oh, I took a class. Someone said I got a demo trade for 2-3 months, 6 months." I'm like, what? I'm like, what's the difference on demo trade or if you bought one share? I mean, you want to see the system working. You want to get the butterflies out. It's a numbers game. Eventually you just trade more shares, and the goal is you want to lose. So why you lost, you don't do it again. You know what I mean? And you're not going to learn that by doing demo mode. But I'm glad you brought that up. That is you're the first person that actually, when I asked that question, actually bought that, because I preach that every day. So I'm glad it's come from someone like you that does indicators and also trades himself. But great advice.
This is why we always trade with live accounts. When we do our live trading, it's going to use our interactive brokers account. That's our broker, but it doesn't matter where it is. And we trade our own money, our life.
Yeah.
Well, we feel the same pressure as everybody else. And that's
you know what it is also, Daniel. It's it doesn't, like when I first started, we had to pay $20 a ticket. So everybody's like, why would you trade one share or 1,000? I'd rather you trade 1,000. It costs you nothing to do a ticket today.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's like, what's the sense of it? So basically it is demo. It doesn't cost you anything. But that's great. So we got your link up there, everyone. Once again, if everybody wants to register for it, you got the QR code on the right-hand corner, and you got that link right there. We will have some shorts made up at the end of the day. So if anyone wants to see some highlights of this video, we'll have about 10 new highlights on all our social networks, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever you're a fan of, on our X, and also on Telegram. And then, and we'll have definitely have Daniel come back for our Cyber Expo. It's going to come up. But Daniel, thanks for being here. Enjoy Brazil. All right. Enjoy. You go out and kill them out there in Germany on that great presentation. You always do a great job. It was so nice to see you after all these years. And I'm going to get back to you because I do have an indicator that I need you to make me, because everyone's always asking me. And you know what? Having this great presentation for you guys to listen to it is one thing, but this is what's great about meeting each other, because now I found the guy who could build it.
Sounds good. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Thanks, Fausto, so much. It's been fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. And thanks everybody listening. And we'll be here tomorrow for the next podcast.